think when did you learn that you were starting today, and just what was kind of your reaction to all that you're going to get your first career start?
You know, I was psyched, but um, it was a little nerve feeling, not gonna lie. But once the game started, I got going, and just being out there with these good players made me feel comfortable. Uh, Jalen being out, them are big shoes to fill, so I just tried to play my role and do whatever I could.
And what did kind of help you get in the flow? Was it getting the first steal? Was it just going through the first possession? Just what kind of helped you relax and just play your game?
Yeah, I'll say mostly being active on defense. That's how I try to go into every game with that mindset, being active on defense to get me going, and just go from there.
And Jamie, obviously the team started kind of slow in the first half. Just what would you attribute that to?
Uh, it's a good question. Maybe it was the different lineup. Um, I'm not really sure, but I'm glad we picked it up. We had a lot of talks in the huddle, and it got turned around pretty quick in the second half.
And what was said maybe at halftime or in the huddle that kind of helped you guys turn the game around?
Kind of just relax, just do what we do. Um, we were being a little uncharacteristic there at the beginning, not playing as hard or following our principles. But once we got to that, like I said earlier, it got turned around pretty quickly.
And as a team, just what do you feel like you guys did in the second half that allowed you to pull away? I mean, maybe it was a 15-4 run. Just what clicked in the second half?
We've made an emphasis on moving the basketball and setting better screens, get our good players space. Instead, the ball stopped a little bit in the first half, long possessions, people, trying to force things that weren't there, and then, just being sound in our defensive principles, getting stops, and then we were just running the floor. Like, we're a fast team, so if we get out in transition, that's when we're at our best, I think. So once we were able to do that, it opened the game up.
And same for you, Steve. Just what do you think helped you guys turn the game around in the second half?
Definitely getting out in transition, like Jamie said, but also ball movement. The first half, the ball was kind of sticking. It was stagnant. We was kind of just staring at one person do all the work, and then like Jamie said, they brought us in a huddle and just said, do our stuff, play our game. Came together as a team and got the job done.
And what do you think you guys learned about yourself in West Virginia? I mean, I know you guys had some tough competition there, maybe a little bit of a letdown today, but do you feel like you guys are learning more about yourselves? I mean, conference play is just right around the corner.
Yeah, we're really hungry. The beginning of today's game might not have showed it, but we flipped it around. But we all have a chip on our shoulder, something to prove. They picked us 10th in the Big East, so and we still kind of have a sour taste in our mouth from the SMU loss. So we're just hungry, and we just want to keep winning.
Anything else for the guys? Perfect timing. You guys can go and slide that in. Yeah. You've been with us for years, haven't you?
I saw that he's going to move. Is that the
Yeah.
same ankle that he injured during the offseason?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So just we're trying to get it looked at again, and some doctors take a look at it, but did not want to play today, and I thought it showed a little bit at the beginning for sure.
What was the biggest thing that the team was lacking with Jalen?
No, I think you get into a groove, and we were a little bit, and Xavier was awesome. I mean, he did a heck of a job for us, but we didn't have our flow, we didn't have our pop there at the beginning, but we got to learn to do that. If he's not going to be out for a little bit, we got to find a way, and I thought we eventually did.
So he's going to be out for Eastern Michigan as well?
I think so. I don't know for certain. It's kind of I don't want to say day by day. We're just waiting on some results to be read and see what we're going to do.
And what was it that you liked from State? I mean, you said it was a little nerve-wracking for him that he kind of had to get his feet under him, but it seemed like defensively he was just kind of pesky on the ball. He got 3 steals in the first half. Just what did you like from State?
Well, I think I think he finally calmed down and did a nice job. Because he's got to know he has to run the team. When we're in situations, he's got to put the ball under his arm, get us where we need to be, and I thought he did a much better job attacking, and he kept guys squared more in the second half than he did in the first half, and great experience for him. I'm glad he got to do it.
Coming off a really nice tournament, is part of the learning process of the team
Yeah, you know, I think this, as I told the guys, the most disheartening thing for me today was we didn't do what we are supposed to do in the first half. We just said now we don't need to do the things that we work on, and it showed. It really, really did. And you know, was that because we had 2 good wins or whatever? I don't know, but we can't accept that. I mean, I didn't think we played very well, especially in the first half. And you know, hopefully we learn from that. I know last year we lost this game. We came home from a big tournament win, and but I give our guys credit for putting it together and finally doing what we do on both sides of the ball in the second half.
With November over, and we get into December, and then conference play starts and a lot of different things. Do you see something right now from this team that you like that maybe you haven't seen in the last few years? Or what is it?
No, I think this. I like with this team. I like our athleticism. I like they've been unbelievably coachable, and they really compete. And I think that's something that you know, challenge them at halftime to go out and compete harder and play harder, and they did that. And you know, a lot of times when things aren't going well in the past, we've kind of shut down. These guys came together, they found a way, and the ball got moving in the second half. We started cutting better, we started attacking better, we were running harder in transition, and that's those guys in there getting it done.
How much of a boost did y'all give you guys? He was 6 for 6 from the field, just seems to be a pretty steady force down low.
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny. Johan did what Johan was supposed to do on the offense, and we found him. And as did Drayton. Drayton, the play of the game in the first half was Drayton rim running, and he got a dunk off of it. That kind of, you know, helped me say, hey, this is what we need to do. And Drayton had some really good plays out there as well as Johan. So we got to keep bringing those guys along, no question.
And was there any kind of discussion about who's going to start for Jalen? Any thoughts of going with Yame, or just what was it?
Yeah, you know, because in the times Jalen was out, Notre Dame and Chicago State, we just inserted Xavier in there.
And just again, how important, he's a freshman, how important are these minutes for someone who I would imagine you want to be a part of the program for a long time down the road? Just
Yeah.
For him to get thrown into the fire, so to say, in this way, just how long or how good will this be for his longevity?
Well, you hope it's you know, because I've always said this, I don't have drills in practice to create experience. You got to get out there. You got to go through it, man. You got to, and you know, for him, you know, from being in Dallas to West Virginia, and now, you know, being here, I mean, he's growing. I think I honestly believe this with him. We're just going to continue to see him play better and better and better and better as he gets more comfortable.
You're one of the top teams in the rebound market so far. How much of that is just plain work, or elements is something that every day in practice is focused on?
Both. To be honest with you, both. And you know, obviously when you have a rebounder like Michael Ajayi, and our bigs are really starting to rebound better. One of the big areas, we got to continue to get our guards coming in and rebound. They watch too much. They stand on the perimeter, and you know, long shots, long rebounds. They're the ones that has to get those for us. And you know, without a doubt, we want the extra possessions as much as we can. And you know, the free throw rebound, I think we got a 3 off of it, and those are just extra possessions for us.
You guys on the free throw shooting, just I know this is kind of been a theme throughout the year, especially in the first half. You guys struggled to go from the line. Just I know you said you can't simulate that in practice, but
Yeah.
what can you do to help the team shoot better free throws?
If I knew that, I'd have already done it.
All right, thanks everybody.
I don't know. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your afternoon.